Well, damn. Here's a video that I never thought I'd be making. But if the article from Giant Freaking Robot is correct about this, all the 2 years that I've spent ripping apart Lower Decks, along with other channels out there doing the same thing as I have, need to give this series a sincere apology. Not only an apology, but a thank you for what they have done. Again, if Giant Freaking Robot is right about this, then they may have saved the Star Trek universe, literally. It's hard to believe that such a ridiculous show may be responsible for saving the Star Trek universe. But again, if Giant Freaking Robot is right about all this, then we owe them a tremendous amount of gratitude and my sincerest heartfelt thanks. Giant Freaking Robot reports that Star Trek just erased an entire series from canon. What series could we possibly be talking about here? Does anyone care to take a guess? According to Giant Freaking Robot, Star Trek Lower Decks, the final episode of Season 5, has decanonized Star Trek Discovery.
Thank God.
Star Trek Lower Decks had its big finale this week, and in the process of ending the show, they fixed one of the worst problems Star Trek has ever had. That problem is named Star Trek Discovery, and thankfully, it no longer is part of the official prime timeline Star Trek canon. Lower Decks has always taken full advantage of its animated format to fix some of the franchise's nagging questions and biggest mistakes. They've smoothed a lot of these things over, but the one thing that seemed impossible to smooth over was the way Star Trek Discovery trashed the entire Star Trek universe. Damn, right off the bat, they say it correctly. Star Trek Discovery, well, the highlight right there, the damage Discovery did to Star Trek. It was so bad. And here's a clear example of the damage that Discovery did to the Star Trek universe. Turning the Klingons into whatever the hell these things are was just way over, and it was the beginning of so many fans out there screaming that Star Trek Discovery just sucked. By Season 2, however, the people at Paramount had realized that this was a horrible idea and not what anyone wanted. So they came up with an excuse to send the show so far into the future that it couldn't do any more damage. Right. Did Paramount get burned on the burn? By then, they already had done a lot. Luckily, now it doesn't matter because Star Trek Lower Decks finally confirmed that the events of Star Trek Discovery took place in an alternate reality. Something that I have been arguing since the show aired. I haven't had my YouTube channel since then, but in the past 2.5 years, I have been complaining and saying that you could probably handle Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, if you accepted the idea that they were in different timelines, different universes, not in the main prime timeline, because what we have here is just garbage. But thankfully, Lower Decks has come along to repair that damage. At the beginning of the episode, according to Screen Rant, 3 Klingon vessels encounter a soliton wave, or, as the article would go on to say, it's just a phenomenon of energy that hits one of the vessels and alters it, and at the same time, it changes the crew. And one Klingon in particular changes into a Star Trek Discovery Klingon. When the field hits any ship, it alters the reality of that person or ship, putting them into a different quantum reality, which basically means that the Star Trek Discovery Klingons are not from the prime reality, which means Discovery is not from the prime reality. At the beginning of the video, I did mention the fact that I believe that Strange New Worlds was an alternate timeline, but when you also consider the fact that they were altering the history of the original Star Trek to blend in with Strange New Worlds. But according to Giant Freaking Robot, this Strange New Worlds is in the prime timeline. It has nothing to do with Star Trek Discovery. Yes, Discovery introduced us to Strange New Worlds, but Strange New Worlds is apparently in the prime timeline. So, based on all this, I am going to give my sincere thank you to Lower Decks for getting rid of Star Trek Discovery and repairing the timeline. Thank you so much for proving that Discovery does not belong in the prime timeline. But I do have one question, actually two questions, honestly. If Discovery is not in the prime timeline and does not matter anymore, does that mean Section 31 is not in the prime timeline either? And that the history of Section 31 is from an alternate reality, one that has absolutely nothing to do with, say, Sloan and Deep Space Nine? And again, if Discovery no longer matters, what does that say about Starfleet Academy? It's supposed to be on the same timeline as Star Trek Discovery as it ended its series. And Star Trek Discovery helped reestablish Starfleet Academy in their timeline. So again, does that matter? I would love to hear your thoughts and comments on this, so please drop those comments below and let me know. And until the next time, my friends, God bless.